ndinoda kuti nyika isiwe vanhu vangu inguva yedu hatingatadzi kubudirira mwari ari parutivi pedu rambai muchirwa my hitters gon' die don't die the real hitters gon' shine and my people gon' rise cause we're born to it I ain't saying but I'm saying loyalty's my favorite characteristic of God, but finding it in it is hard. It's like trying to find God. You're the only one in your camp with cheese. You pay for everything they eat. Man, that insecurity is deep. Now I ain't said no names. These are just theories if you hear me, baby. It's home, you must admit it's kinda eerie, baby. Like them chemtrails in the sky. Hate to selling the slaves, kinda like the combines. We say everything in moderation, but don't do it in moderation. The lies of a gluttonous generation. 10-year-old girl in.
Grand Rising, everybody. Welcome to the Day with Trae. I'm your host, Trae Holiday. I want to welcome you to another terrific Tuesday right here on the Day with Trae. I'm so excited because we got a great show for y'all today. And, you know, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm in for a special treat because Big O is back on the couch with me. What? 2 days in a row. It's going to be exciting. He's going to be giving us some updates. And later on in the show, I get to check in with Morris Robinson, who plays King Marke in Tristan and Isolde. That's going on right now at the Seattle Opera, so I can't wait to dive into it with him. But of course, right now is the top of the show, so it's a great time for you to tag and share the stream. Go ahead, tag and share the stream with folks you feel could benefit from a daily dose of dopeness right here on the Day with Trae. If you can't watch us, don't worry, you can listen to us anywhere you find your favorite podcast. Just search Converge Media Network and the Day with Trae. Y'all will find me there. Google, Spotify, iTunes, SoundCloud, you name it. Over 200 plus platforms. Shout out to our podcast team for making that happen. But, you know, I'm telling you right now, I'm jumping in my seat because Big O is back on the set with me. What up, Big O? What we got today?
I'm good. I thought when you said special surprise, I thought you was talking about the big fella over here, Morris Robinson, you know what I'm saying, in the building.
Oh, come on now. You know, anytime I get to be on camera with you, my friend, it is a great day for me. So I'm so glad that you're here this morning.
Yeah, no, it was good stuff, man. It's good to meet this brother. And, you know, I'm looking forward to your interview. I gotta reach out over there to the opera, see if I can get some tickets. You going on Friday?
Yeah, I'm going Friday. You should come with.
Yeah, I know. You always invite me to.
I do. You are not without your shortage of invites, my friend.
I know, man. You always looking out for me, Bayana.
Yeah, come on.
So just a few things, man, wanted to touch on here real quick is that tonight at 6:30, Cindy Bright, your girl, Cindy Bright, a big boss. There it is, right up there on the screen right here. Cindy Bright is having an election special, doing a special right here from the Black Media Matters studios. And man, she's talking to a lot of people tonight about the upcoming election. And it's a lot of people, we haven't really been talking about the election because, you know, it's one of these off-year elections and, you know, it's kind of sleepy and everything else. But there are some races out there that definitely impact us, our community. Of course, there's the federal races, you know, for the Senate, all the way down to some of the legislative districts. And, you know, we know quite a few people that are going on with the legislative districts. Speaking of that, I know we're going to have a forum here. What is it, 37th, right? For the 37th district in a few weeks. But we're really very happy to have Cindy Bright here for a special. You know, a lot of people you hear Heartbeat Radio over there at Rainier Avenue Radio, our partner over at Rainier Avenue Radio. And so it's great to be able to use the studio facilities here, man, to uplift Cindy's platform or message and her swag. You know, she be bringing it.
Yeah, she definitely does. And the last time we spoke, you know, we were doing an update on her book, but we were having some offside conversations about this election in particular and how she's really bringing awareness to the, you know, people and to the voters out there so that we are informed voters. Again, we know through King County elections, this is where, you know, voters and registration for votes, they kind of dip, but I think it's really important that we understand, you know, the folks that are going out for these races right now. So I'm so glad Cindy Bright will be on tonight.
Yeah, and again, that's at 6:30, and of course, you can find it anywhere that you're watching right now, the Day with Trae, but also on Cindy Bright's Facebook page as well. You can find it there. And so, really exciting. You know, Cindy says she drops gems. She says so many clippable things.
Yeah.
So, really excited about that. And also, don't want people to forget that after that, at 8:30 tonight, our brother, Proof. There he is. Proof in the play. The Truth with Proof tonight at 8:30. He's got a great show lined up tonight. He's got Brian Ferguson, a few other people on there. Proof show is just dope.
Yeah, I mean, every night he brings it.
He need to bring the food back, though. Cuddy? We used to eat good on Proof show, man. He'd always have some chef in here and everything. I'm going to have to talk to Proof about that, man. He's got to bring that back. And the last thing, of course, reminder we want to keep this top of mind is this Saturday at 3 o'clock, SABJ, Black Voices Matter, broadcasting right here live from the Black Media Matter studios. We got King 5's Joyce Taylor going to be talking to the icon, Essex Porter, 43 years in the business, 39 of those years over at Cairo 7. Black Voices Matter. This is a fundraiser for the general fund over there at SABJ, and a big portion of that goes to award scholarships for aspiring journalists. You can go to sabjonline.org. Tickets are only $12. I mean, it's a great cause.
Yeah, no, it's an amazing cause. And honestly, again, I'm glad that they're going to be here on Saturday. Man, I'm going to be here in the building on Saturday. I'm looking forward to seeing Joyce and Essex. I mean, both of them real icons in the news business here in Seattle. Their names have been widely known for the years of dedication that they put into journalism. So I'm so glad that they'll be here on Saturday.
Yeah, no, good stuff. And, I'm getting out of here tonight. So I won't be crashing your set tomorrow. I said I'm going to Houston tonight. My daughter's doing softball tomorrow. Yeah. So it's a commute. But, somebody was like, man, you commute Seattle to Houston. When I was living in Dubai, I used to go Seattle, Dubai, and that was 15 hours.
You said, I'll take Houston over there.
Yeah, what? Man, that's easy. You know what I'm saying? So it's an easy commute. But, man, you know what we won't do for our kids, right?
Absolutely. And I know Victoria is so excited to have you there on Wednesday supporting her and softball. I mean, you said that she's really into it. Clearly, yesterday we saw her in her Astros jersey, which I don't know if you'll forgive her for that. Trash. But it's a beautiful thing that you'll be able to be with her tomorrow. And, I just appreciate anytime you can pop on anytime on the Day with Trae to give us these fabulous updates, because Converge has so many things going on. So I'm glad that you're here to make sure we know all about it.
Thank you, Trae.
Absolutely. Oh my goodness, you guys. We got another great guest coming up right after this. Morris Robinson is in the building. He is up next telling us all about Tristan and Isolde right now that's going on at the Seattle Opera. You guys are going to want to tune into this. I'm telling you, the brother's voice, just the way he talks, is got the deepest baritone. So definitely want to stay tuned after this, y'all. You're watching The Day with Trae.
COVID-19 hurt my income, my health, and my family. We were about to lose our home when we heard we might be eligible for homeowner assistance funds from the government. We called 1-877-894-HOME, and a housing counselor stepped in, talked to our lender, and saved our home. Federal funding details at washingtonhaf.org. That's washingtonhaf.org.
What's up, everybody? It's your girl, Trae Holiday, and I am so excited that Converge Media is doing another takeover at Paramount Theater. That's right. We're going to be there on the 24th and 25th of this month, and I am elated because we have a great relationship with STG and the whole team at Paramount, so I'm so excited for that. And y'all know this is personal for me because my daddy would be so proud to see his daughter's name on the marquee once again. One of the big moments that we were able to share before he passed was when he saw me right there on that stage presenting me with flowers. He and my mother are so proud of all the things that I've been able to do, and Paramount is a major part of that. So please join us, you guys, on the 24th and 25th. Get your tickets today by going to whereweconverge.com/Paramount. Be a part of our live studio audience as we make history once again.
Community, it's been 3 years since we've been able to celebrate in person at our annual Evening of Choice. And this year at Access in Pioneer Square on October 19th at 6 p.m., we will be back together again, celebrating our journey, healing towards justice. This past couple of years have been incredibly difficult for our young people and our community at large. And one thing that has become clear and absolutely true is there's one way forward that brings all of us together, and that's as we heal. And when our young people heal, they're truly able to become who it is they've been purposed to be. So on this evening, you'll hear stories of our young people, hear the evolution of our organization as we emphasize healing in our cause. And together we will celebrate another year of impact and growth as we journey towards justice together. Again, it's at Access in Pioneer Square, 6 p.m. on October 19th, and live streaming will be available through YouTube at I Choose 180.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Day with Trae. I'm your host, Trae Holiday. Look, me and Morris are already getting into it, so I'm so glad that he is here to join me. Welcome, Morris.
Hey, thank you. Happy to be here.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, your voice already. I mean, when people meet you, do they ask you, what do you do with that voice?
Invariably, someone asks me, do you do voiceover work? Are you a DJ? But they never think opera singer. That's like the last thing on the list, but I hear it all the time, yeah.
I bet you do, because as soon as I walked in here, I'm like, whoa, powerful voice. And it's one thing, because I've been able to interview several opera singers, but you carry it with you every day. Just tell us a bit about your journey. What got you started into opera?
Opera and I found one another at the age of 30, believe it or not. I always talk about, I went to a high school performing arts, and I was in the marching band, and I never really wanted to be in the chorus, but in order to stay at the school and be in the School of the Arts that I auditioned for in the band, you had to take 2 periods of performing arts, and I wanted to be on the football team. After the first football game in the marching band, I was like, I don't want to be up here with these guys. I want to be out there with the cool guys. So in order to stay, I had to audition for the chorus, and I became a full-time chorister just so I could play football. And those two worlds really never left me. But in joining the chorus, we were introduced to classical music at an early age. The age of 15, I was singing the tuba miriam and all the bass solos for the Mozart Requiem. And then my senior year, I guess I was 16, 17 then, we did Haydn's Creation, the Robert Shaw edition of the Haydn's Creation. So the classical music bug kind of hit me then. And then I left it all and went and played football in college. And then I worked in corporate America for a while. And then I went back to study opera at the age of 30 after singing the national anthem and the Lord's Prayer at national anthem at sporting events, the Lord's Prayer at weddings and stuff like that. People heard my voice all the time and thought, you should be doing something with that voice. But I'm a brother. It's like we don't come from a community where we are aware that this is an option viably to pursue vocally. So but it's really weird. I felt like a fish jumping back into water once the opera world reached out to me and said, hey, you should probably start studying this. So I've never had to work a day in my life ever since. So
wow. Yeah, because it's one of those things where it's like oh, wait. Okay, hold on. It's one of those things where it's really exciting, because at the end of the day, you also get to do something that you love. And that's exactly what I think so many people, want to understand. Like, what is it that they can do that doesn't feel like work? And so going back to it at the age of 30, that's a huge feat, because already now you've probably, had some professional experience, as you said, in corporate America. You got maybe a family established at that point. What was that transition like for you to say, you know what, I'm going to take this seriously?
Well, I mean, I tried to take it like a business approach. I had enough money put away to live for 2 years, and I thought this is a 2-year experiment. I'm going to try it out and see what happens. If it doesn't work, I can always go back to work. So it was just, it was lots of sleepless nights, lots of discussions, my family. It was a scary thing for me. And, but I was, I bet on myself, and I said, I'm going to do the best I can for this next period of time and see what happens. And yeah, it worked.
Well, tell us a bit about that acceptance then. Like, how were you received in the opera community? Because, this is something that could take you all over the world. I mean, people are doing operas everywhere. Tell us a bit about how you got to be received from the other side, to be like, oh, whoa, this powerful voice is now joining the ranks.
Well, there's always trials and tribulations. When you come into the opera world like I did from nowhere, there's always people that look at and think, what is this about? Okay, it's a sensational thing that's going to last for a few years, but it'll be over with. He doesn't have the training. He didn't come from the right pedigree. He doesn't have a degree in music. He didn't go to Juilliard. He didn't go to Manhattan School. So, how good can this possibly be, or how good can this possibly get? Can his aptitude adapt accordingly? But every obstacle that was put in front of me, and I don't consider I mean, you can look at it two ways. It was either an obstacle or an opportunity. And I looked at both. It's an obstacle, meaning it was challenging for me to try to rise to the occasion. But it's also an opportunity for me to get better, prove that I can do it, and prove to myself that I can do it, and prove to the opera world that I could do this. So it was just literally a series of accomplishments that had to take place. And so, the first 2 years, I mean, it was just rough. I knew how to sing the Lord's Prayer, but I never sang in Italian before. I never sang in German before. I never sang in Russian. I never sang in French. So I had to learn how to do all those things. I'd never been on a real operatic stage. So, I've sung oratorio because I was in the chorus, but I've never worn a costume and been a character and had to relate to another character. So it was just fast learning, lots of learning. I often like to say it's like drinking water out of a fire hydrant. It's just coming at you nonstop, and you try to gather as much as you can. The psychological part within oneself is understanding that, for 90% of the time, you hear the things that you don't do well. So you can they push you to try to correct those things. And therein lies the discipline and the self-assuredness and the confidence in knowing that when presented with something that's challenging, you have the ability to overcome that. And I was able to do that. I think my athletic background, just being an ex-athlete and getting used to coaching, being able to immediately and instantaneously make a return on what was input into me, I think that was important, as far as being able to adapt on the fly and on demand in the operatic world. So it's certainly a complex journey, so to speak, but one of discipline and fortune. Within the first few weeks of studying opera, I knew that I had done the right thing as far as making the choice to do so. Then it became a matter of, am I going to reach the potential that everyone says I have? And my focus then became reaching the potential that everyone thought I had, because the one thing I didn't want to do is not reach that potential. So, self-drive, lots of commitment. You got to have talent, but the discipline and work ethic is the part that I think people don't really realize is there. You have to have that too. So
yeah, I mean, and those two things really can carry you forward in so many different ways, right? In so many different industries. So I love hearing your connection to that, particularly in your journey. As you were like, all right, I'm going to leave some of the things I've known behind. I'm stepping out, believing in myself. I'm going to really bet on myself, as you said. That's really important in this journey in particular. Well, I mean, this is one thing I gotta say. I talk about this often, but now I almost can't even say it because I've interviewed so many Black opera singers,
right.
In terms of that kind of opening up, right? I mean, we think Black community doesn't automatically think opera is for them. Going to the opera seems like maybe it's too expensive, or it's not something that has really been promoted in Black communities often. And so tell us a bit about your perspective there as a Black man, a strong Black man, right? Going into opera, how has it been for you in terms of some of those racial outlines and those racial elements?
Yeah, so people don't gravitate towards that which they're not familiar with. So we're Black folks. We like to go to comedy club, jazz club, R&B, hip hop, that kind of thing. We go to church, we do the gospel thing. That's our norm. The first opera I was in was Aida by Verdi, and there's a moment in her famous aria where she's praying and reminiscing about being back home, and she's missing it. And there's a whole segment there that sounds like a Black hymn called Sweet Holy Spirit. I was like, that's our music, or our music there. There's some similarities there. So I started finding little leitmotifs like that, started finding things that were familiar. And then here's the coolest thing. Like when I go to a new city, I'll go to the barbershop. I haven't been to the barbershop now because I gotta have this beer for the show. So it's I'm not normally like raggedy, but because of my part, I have to add to it. But anyway, this whole thing. I'll go to the barbershop. When I was younger, I'd go play hoops. I'll go find spots where people hang out, go to Black restaurants. And they find out what I do, and I'll invite them to the show. A lot of times I give them tickets just to get them there. And invariably, not only do they enjoy the experience, but a lot of them go when I'm not even on stage now. Like I have people that have become patrons and members of the Opera House because it was cool. They got to dress up. They got to wear their tuxes, rent a limousine, go have a nice dinner, take their girlfriend, take their wife, take their boys. They go 5 deep. And it was just a great experience. I tell people that the opera, you shouldn't be intimidated by it. It is not necessarily just for the aristocracy. That's a misnomer. In fact, Mozart said opera was written for the people. One of the most famous operatic composers in the world ever, was written for the general public. So, the experience I say is like going to the movie, but you have a better soundtrack and the action's happening right in front of you and it's live. Same storylines, even in this show that we're doing here, it's a love triangle that really isn't a love triangle. It's about betrayal. I'm the king and I send my nephew, my favorite person, my best friend, to go find this wife that I was too shy to approach, and he's going to secure her for me. Well, he ended up making love to her and falling in love with her. So and then I walk on the scene like, yo, where is she at? And they're like, yeah. So what happened was, and so I'm broken, and it's a mess, it's just straight drama. So these storylines that we celebrate and put on screen now are not brand new to us. They've been going on for forever. And it's just nice to see it displayed in a different language with a different soundtrack. I think it's a beautiful experience. So it's a long answer to your short question, but yes, Black people should embrace and come to it. It's not foreign to everybody, but it's just not the most popular thing we do.
Right.
But I think you'll find if you participate, you actually enjoy it. So
yeah, I definitely have. And the fact that you may be singing in another language, but the subtitles are in English, I can follow along. And I think that that's also too something that I've been telling my friends and family about. Like, honestly, there is no, barrier for you to come and enjoy this. And I love how you say it, like it's an opportunity to come and get dressed up, maybe do something a little bit bigger, a little bit more grandiose. You can. And I also told my friend, I said, hey, let's just go in what we got on. Like at the end of the day, nobody's going to scoff at us. The idea that, you have to succumb to a certain thing is not true. And I really experienced that personally.
Well, we were kind of taking the come as you are approach, like going to church now. It's like, I tell people all the time, if you get off work at 6:30 and the opera starts at 7, wear your khakis, wear your jeans, just come chill, because it really is come as you are. You can make whatever you want to of the experience. If you want to make it a nice night and rent a limousine and have a 5-star dinner, you can do that. If you want to just show up with your khakis on, your blue jeans, your flip flops, you can do that. No one's going to scoff you and look at you funny, because it is for everybody, and we're just happy you're there. To enjoy the experience. And I think that opera audiences nowadays are so happy to see people there, and it's like going to the football game. I'm an ex-athlete, so I always relate everything to sports. But one of the things I think is beautiful about sports and music is that it blends communities. Mm-hmm. So if you go see the Seahawks play, and the doctor's sitting next to the garbage man, sitting next to the janitor, sitting next to the lawyer, sitting next to the preacher, for that 3 hours, they're going to be best friends if they're on the same squad. They're going to high-five each other. They're going to hug each other. They're going to yell at the referees. They're going to cheer for the team. And they don't care who they are and where they are. And I think the same thing happens at the Opera House. And it's just a matter of trusting that someone that actually does it for a living, who's on stage, is telling you to try this. It really is it's a real experience. So
yeah, it really is. And I agree with you on that. I mean, the first opera that I saw here in Seattle was Blue, right?
Oh, wow. Okay.
And I'm like, oh my God, all Black cast, kind of what you're talking about. They had a lot of these kind of like gospel rhythmic, tunes in there. But it was also a story that so many Black community members could, really connect with. And, just as you were describing this plot here, I was reminded of Best Man. I'm like, man, a movie that is beloved in Black communities all across America and probably the world. But just the idea is that these stories, these narratives aren't new, and yet we can find ourselves really connecting to them. It's exciting because we actually have a clip of you up on stage. We get to actually see you singing right here. Oh my
wow.
goodness. Look, we're just looking up at the screen. We're both like stuck in it. But wow, such a powerful voice. Tell us a bit about this character and, you know, the experience that playing this role has now added to your opera career.
Well, okay, that's a twofold question, so to speak. But like in this very scene here, this is me, the initial confrontation. So what happens is I show up on the boat, I walk out with my squad. I'm the king, so I got like the Secret Service with me, but the Secret Service in the sense of they have swords, not guns, but they all roll in with me, and I'm like, I walk into the situation, I see my dude with the girl that's supposed to be marrying me. Everybody's looking at me like I'm crazy, and that's me saying to the dude that brought me there, my boy that's supposed to like go make sure everything's good before I arrive. I'm like, why would you put me here like this in front of all these people? Did you really think this is the way to handle this? That's the first thing I say. Then the second thing I say, what you heard there was, look at him. He's supposed to be my boy. Wow. That's supposed to be my best friend. Look at him. He's the dude I trusted the most on this planet. No one even understands and can comprehend the hurt I'm feeling right now, the embarrassment in front of all these people. And then I say that, then I send them away, and then I turn to him and say, bruh, like I literally say this. It's not bruh, but it's literally saying, bruh, this your boy. How you gonna do me like that? Look at me. How you gonna do me like that? So it's real intense, you know. Wow. It's like it's one of those moments because he here, you know, and I'm like the big boss, I'm the king. Yeah. So that's what that whole scene is about. And it literally is about maybe 14 to 15 minutes, depending on how fast the conductor is going that day and how much breath I have, of me just saying, you know, you dogged me out, man. I can't believe you did that. And you know how I felt about her. And then I walk over to her and said, we supposed to be this, that, and the other. And like, I can't even, you know, so it's a whole just complete, utter breakdown. So that's the answer to that part of the question. The answer to what it's done for my career. Well, you know, as one is coming through the opera ranks, you know, you build on characters. So my first entry into the world, I was always the king. Basis, kings, gods, fathers, priests. Those are the roles that we play. But one-dimensional. I walk on stage, you do what I tell you to do, we leave, you know. And then it becomes, you know, you start playing more complex characters that I walk on stage, do what I tell you, and I have some reflective moments of myself. Or, you know, I play the role of the assassin, like, I'm really cool, but I'm about to kill you. So it's just adding layers to my ability to develop a character. And this right here is the latest entity of such, where it's like a multifaceted person who really looks one-dimensional, but inside he really is like dealing with a whole lot of issues. So you get to see me really just in a to take this monstrous figure, me myself also being this big powerful guy, and breaking down in front of everybody and letting my soul bear about this pain and agony that I'm going through. And that's his whole existence throughout the opera, but it's just different ebbs and flows. He gets angry, of course. He's hurt. He doesn't really cry because he's a king, but he's hurt. So, you know, it's just interesting how, you know, I've been able to, and I've been blessed with the opportunity to continue to add layers to my ability to develop characters over time. And this is just another obstacle / opportunity to show myself and the rest of the opera world that I can do all kinds of things. So, yeah.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, you know, one of the things that I don't think gets talked about enough is the acting in opera, right? I mean, just there in that moment, as you're taking a breath and after you belt out this fantastic note, you can tell that you're doing this internal reflection on your own pain, right? Like, I mean, that for me as a thespian myself and have done musical theater and everything else, when I go to the opera, I'm so intrigued by the acting that is taking place. And a lot of the times it's being done in between moments of singing. There's so much nuance that's going on there. So, I mean, kudos to you. I cannot wait to come and see you on Friday. I am looking forward to this and to being there. I might have to dress up and do it fancy on Friday.
Tell me you already dressed. Look at you.
Well, you know, it's kind of a thing for me.
Yeah, but wear that to the opera. It's gonna be that's dope. People will be taking pictures with you. Like,
there we go. Morris, thank you so much for being here and giving us your experience right here at the Seattle Opera. I'm so glad that you are playing the role of King Marke. I can't wait to see you on Friday.
Thank you so much for having me here, and I look forward to seeing you.
Absolutely. You get to look right there and just let people know how they can come and check you out in the upcoming performances.
Yes, Seattle Opera. I think the website is seattleopera.org. The name of the opera is Tristan and Isolde by Richard Wagner. and we'll be doing 4 more shows at the Symphony Hall here. Oh, not the Symphony Hall, the Opera House.
Yeah.
McCall Opera House, Seattle Opera. So
yeah, McCall Hall.
Yeah, McCall Hall.
Yeah.
Seattle Opera. There we go.
There it is.
I never have to do that part. Like,
I know.
It's always done for me.
I know a lot of people don't. So that's why I need to be prepping my folks like, hey, I'm going to give you that opportunity at the end. But I just thank you so much for making time in your busy schedule to join me today.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Absolutely.
All right.
What a pleasure, you guys. Of course, you guys know I get to wrap up the show right after this short break. Stay tuned. You're watching The Day with Trae.
Get ready, everyone. October 24th and 25th, Converge Media is heading right back to the Paramount Theater. Join me, Basil Gordon, Eric Calligraphy, Trae Holiday, and the entire Converge Media family as we once again broadcast live with conversations on art, culture, mental health, community issues, and more. Trust me, you won't want to miss a single moment. Head over to whereweconverge.com for more information, and we will see you October 24th and 25th, streaming live across all Converge Media platforms.
Community, it's been 3 years since we've been able to celebrate in person at our annual Evening with Choice. And this year at Access in Pioneer Square on October 19th at 6 p.m., we will be back together again, celebrating our journey, healing towards justice. This past couple of years have been incredibly difficult for our young people and our community at large. And one thing that has become clear and absolutely true is there's one way forward that brings all of us together, and that's as we heal. And when our young people heal, they're truly able to become who it is they've been purposed to be. So on this evening, you'll hear stories of our young people, hear the evolution of our organization as we emphasize healing in our cause. And together we will celebrate another year of impact and growth as we journey towards justice together. Again, it's at Access in Pioneer Square, 6 p.m. on October 19th, and live streaming will be available through YouTube at I Choose 180.
COVID-19 hurt my income, my health, and my family. We were about to lose our home when we heard we might be eligible for homeowner assistance funds from the government. We called 1-877-894-HOME, and a housing counselor stepped in, talked to our lender, and saved our home. Federal funding details at washingtonhalf.org. That's washingtonhaf.org.
Basically, fam, believe in giving. Like, we have to be willing to give more, and people seem to always think giving means money, but nah, bro. It's like you can give time, you can give understanding, you can give access, you can give a listening ear and an open heart. You can give and share your God-given gifts and talents, but you just got to give.
Welcome back, everybody, to The Day with Trae. I'm your host, Trae Holiday. What a great show today. I'm like all smiles. Got to give a huge shout out to the Big O for hopping on the couch with me today, giving us some updates about some of the great things that are going on right here at Converge. Make sure y'all tune in tonight to Cindy Bright's voter special. We're going to be doing that right here at 6:30, anywhere you're watching, also on her Facebook page. And of course, y'all got to tune in at 8:30 for my bro, Proof in the Play. He's going to be on tonight as well. Make sure you guys check out his show. But a big shout out to Big O for all those announcements. And of course, a special thank you to Morris Robinson for being here from Tristan and Isolde. I am so excited that I'll be there on Friday. Make sure you guys go to the Seattle Opera website, get your tickets today. Clearly, y'all can see from the clip that we showed, it is real. It is deep. The plot that he just shared with us is something we've seen happen in movies all over the place. And really, you guys, these are stories that are going on at the opera that we can all connect to. So I hope y'all go ahead and get your tickets. But y'all also know, I hope that you're inspired by the story that he shared today. I mean, he's talking about being 30 years old and realizing after so many people have told him to get himself into opera, he's like, you know what, let me give it a shot. And he bet on himself. And of course, for me, I was feeling all the goosies on my arms because of the excitement and the inspiration that his story just gave me today. So of course, I want y'all to be inspired by his story, but also y'all can be inspired to find the ways to see yourself as a part of the solution. He was like, look, I'm gonna take a trip here here in 2 years. I'm going to do an experiment. And he's still at it because he is phenomenal. He bet on himself. I want y'all to find ways to bet on yourselves because we need you as a part of all of these amazing movements happening right now to make our world a better place. Of course, I want y'all to be joining me tomorrow. And until then, at 11 a.m., peace.
Converge Media produces culturally relevant content for Black and urban audiences. Our coverage is raw, transparent, and objective, praised by community leaders, government officials, and residents. Support Converge Media today via Venmo, Cash App, or PayPal at Converge Media.